Good morning, you two, beloved, precious brothers and sisters, for Wednesday, September 14th, 2016. Gather around, everyone. Pull up a chair. Let me know what you're going to share with PD this morning. I've got some coffee. I'm going to have a little bit of coffee this morning. Let me know in the comments section right now, what are you going to share with PD this morning? Get your little fingers typing away. Hang on. Oh, it rained. It rained, I think, all night long. Weather's going to be a little bit cooler as we get ready to say goodbye to summer and welcome in the fall of the year when the leaves turn a beautiful color, and it won't be long until we take a look at God's handiwork, his artwork as the leaves, the autumn leaves, begin to fall. Good morning, everyone. Let me have another sip of my coffee. I do have coffee this morning. Hang on. I want to change the background. Hang on just a moment. Bear with Pastor Dave this morning. Let's put a little frame around here. There. What do you think about that one? I don't know about that one. Let's look at this one. Let's leave this one here. Donald Trump is coming to Flint, Michigan today. He will be in the city of Flint, and I don't think I'll get close enough to, I know I won't get an interview. I don't know if I'll get close enough to even shout out a question. Donald, what about the homeless crisis in the city of Flint? Let me share this with all of you. Donald Trump coming to Flint, Michigan today, Wednesday, September 14th, 2016. Donald Trump will travel to Flint to address Flint water crisis and the blight. But what about the plight of the homeless in the city of Flint, Michigan? I believe he will be at the water plant off of Dort Highway in Flint, Michigan between 1 and 1:30 p.m. this afternoon. Flint, Michigan, the Flint water crisis will be front and center in the presidential race when Donald Trump visits the city this week. The Republican presidential nominee will be traveling to Flint today, Wednesday, September 14th, according to his campaign. While in the vehicle city, he will tour the Flint water treatment plant and a Flint neighborhood to assess the impact of the Flint water crisis and blight in the city. I hope he gets a first-hand look at the plight of the homeless in the city of Flint as he's going through the neighborhoods of Flint, Michigan. I hope that he sees firsthand the crisis of homelessness in the city of Flint, Michigan, and in America. Trump last visited Michigan when he spoke to a Detroit church over the Labor Day weekend. That was Detroit. During that stop, Trump said he will improve living conditions in urban areas like Detroit and elsewhere that have been hurt economically by Democratic policies supported by his rival Democratic presidential nominee, Hillary Clinton. In an exclusive interview with NBC 25 Fox 66 in Detroit, Trump says more needs to be done to restore safe drinking water to the city's nearly 100,000 residents. After lead contamination, he says it was a failure of elected officials and public servants to make sure the public water utility was run properly. First of all, it would have never happened because it was so ridiculous. In order to save a small amount of money, they redo the whole thing, and now it's a disaster. Trump told NBC 25 Fox News anchor Dave Bondi, I will say this, my administration will get very much involved, and we're going to get the problem solved. But it's still not solved, and it's hard to believe. But it's really harder to believe that they did it in the first place. Should have never happened. Clinton spoke out about the water crisis numerous times. She made 2 previous visits to Flint, a campaign stop in February, and a Democratic presidential debate with Barry Sanders on March 6th. Flint's mayor, Karen Weaver, who I have met, Karen Weaver endorsed Clinton for president and spoke about the water crisis at the Democratic National Convention in Philadelphia. I wonder if Hillary had some Flint water when she made her trip to Michigan, to Flint. I wonder if she had some Flint water, Flint tap water. Maybe that's why she's stumbling and having what appears to be seizures and passing out at the 9/11 memorial. Trump's visit will occur during the same time, a 2-day preliminary injunction hearing to address a motion filed by concerned pastors for social action, Flint resident Melissa Mays, the Natural Resources Defense Council, and the ACLU of Michigan in March 2016. Fox 66, NBC 25 will have complete coverage of Trump's visit Wednesday, on air and online, and I'm going to see how close I can get. I probably won't get close enough to address the homeless situation with Donald Trump, but I would sure just like to give him a piece of my mind. And what can we do, not only with the water crisis, but for the homeless in the city of Flint. All right, this part, as I continue, that I want to share with you. I'm trying not to get too emotional, but I'm going to do the best that I can to get through this. I've had to stop the camera a few times. First of all, do you like my hat? It's an early birthday present. My birthday is in a couple of weeks, and my wife and my family knew that I kept eyeballing this hat. It's got the Native American hat band, and I'm part Native American and French Canadian. And my real grandfather, Harold, lived in West Virginia and had a ranch, and he was a real-life cowboy. And I remember the stories my grandmother would tell me about how when my mom was a baby, how she'd be sitting at the kitchen table, and the screen door would open, and here'd come Grandpa Harold on his horse. He'd reach down and snatch my mom up and set her on the saddle and take off through the living room and out the front door. So I think Pastor Dave has a little bit of cowboy in him, and I just really enjoyed this hat. So thank you, everyone in my family, for the early birthday present. It's amazing how God works. Let me have a sip of my coffee. I'm going to try to compose myself as best that I can. I met with Eric and his lovely wife, Gloria, yesterday at Flintopia. I don't know if you can see their card. And they asked Chrissy and I to be on their board of directors. They have a full working kitchen. They have a room set up for a recreation room and apartments above and a chapel for a church. And they want to start holding church services and Bible study. So it's all coming together. It's not going to happen tomorrow. They need a lot of things as well. They're in a dire need of seating chairs and folding chairs. Right now they have no chairs, not enough chairs to even hold a church service. So what they want to do is work together with us and hold our church services there. Once we get everything in line and in order, it's going to take a little bit of time, but I have patience. And through our ministry, bring the homeless there to where we can work together, work with Gloria. And what she's doing is she's setting up to where she will get their birth certificates, their state ID, and everything they need to get on disability, to get on Social Security, and work with the VA for the homeless veterans to get them on some type of assistance so they can get back on their feet. And the apartments, the homeless that are able to work are going to have to work around the center, do odd jobs, and to subsidize their housing. So it's in the works, it's in the making, and I'm just feel so blessed how amazing God really is. But here's the part. God is so amazing. It's hard for me. Because with this ministry, I don't walk away. At the end of the day, I take it home with me. And a lot of haters on YouTube and say a lot of terrible things. And my heart breaks. My heart breaks. Because I feel their pain. I feel it. I know it all too real. I drank some coffee on the way to our meeting with Eric and his wife Gloria, and I had a bottle of water while I was there. I had to use the restroom on the way home, and I couldn't wait till I got home, so I told my wife that there's a McDonald's up the street, pull into the McDonald's just so I can run into the bathroom. And when we pulled in the parking lot, there was a homeless gentleman. And he looked very, very tired and very weak. And he had a shopping cart with everything that he owned draped over the sides, and the shopping cart was full, and he could barely push it. He didn't have the strength to wheel the shopping cart, and had a bad wheel on it. And I asked him if he was hungry, and he said, yes, I'm hungry. But he kept saying, praise the Lord, praise the Lord, praise the Lord. That's all he kept saying. I said, when's the last time you had something to eat, brother? And he said, it's been over 2 days. I've had no food and no water at all. And I took him inside, and he just kept saying, praise the Lord. And I told him to order anything that he wanted, and Christy and I said, get anything that you want. It was air conditioned in the McDonald's, and he ordered a chocolate shake and a salad, some type of chicken, grilled chicken salad. And the young girl working the counter, I said, there's not going to be a problem with him staying in here and eating us there, because we hear the horror stories of, McDonald's kicking the homeless out. And I made sure that he was going to be okay. And I asked him, where do you sleep? And he pointed to the back of the McDonald's parking lot, and there's a brush and some trees there and a garbage dumpster, and he showed me where he slept at night. He says once in a while he'll be able to get into a person he knows' garage. But he said, I feel like an animal in that garage. So I'd rather just sleep here under the stars next to God. And that touched me. That touched me. So we're going to work with him right now about getting his ID and his what he needs to get some type of financial assistance coming in. Get him over there and get him in an apartment and get him out of that field. I love you guys. I'm sorry. I've wept all night. I cried all the way home. This ministry, I'm telling you, is not for everybody. Keep me lifted up in prayer. Jesus, please come quickly. I love you all, and I'll put the link to our ministry below.